ambulance was walking by and looked in and saw 2 bodies on the ground. They called the police.
Okay, you got the call that something had happened and you're responding to the area, to the crime scene. You're the first people who are going to get there. What are you going to do?
انتوا اول ناس راح توصلون الى مسرح الجريمه، ايش راح تسوون؟
راح نفوت احنا الفرقه المداهمه نفوت جوا. نفوت داخل الحدث، نشوف اذا اكو ارهابيين ناخذهم ويانا. زين؟ اذا اكو ناس ميتين وخاليه يعني ماكو اي بس ميتين وماكو ارهابي، راح ننسحب والنادي على المركز مالنا يجون المحققين هم يعني احنا نسوي طوق وهم عادين يفوتون جوا.
This is your witness.
Staff Sergeant Armstrong plays the witness, and the IP asks if he heard anything.
What kind of voice you heard? Like pistol or
it sounded like a pistol.
You see a soldier or somebody...
Terry tells the Iraqi police that any American soldiers who aren't wearing a hat are part of the scenario. Then he arranges for 2 soldiers to have a surprise role.
And you're going to do your best. You know, you got to think in your mind, your brothers are on that floor in there. You want to get to them. Okay? That's what you mean. I mean, don't get violent, don't get physical, obviously. When the police say something, you do something. Gotcha? Don't turn this into a pushing match, all right? Okay, we're going to walk outside, and then from there, that scenario for the rest of you is going to begin.
The press is waiting outside. Both NPR and Al Jazeera are here. The Shurders have interviewed witnesses and sealed off the crime scene. Now the investigation officers pretend they are just arriving.
When you approach the door, when you approach the front door, you understand that it looked like the door was pushed open to break it open. Okay. All right? Okay. Good luck, sir. Yes, please.
The captain discovers a pistol under the stairs.
Albert, to the investigators, if it's on the ground, it is evidence. Attention to detail.
The U.S. military police took over advising and training the Iraqi police in 2004 when a surge of violence made it too dangerous for American State Department trainers.
We trained literally tens of thousands of Iraqi enlisted policemen in how to survive in a combat zone, which is what it was at that time, but also how to participate and help restore law and order, working initially with U.S. forces and then increasingly with their own leadership.
My brothers! Brothers! Whining! What happened? Stop whining! What's wrong with my brothers? Whining. Oh my God! Oh my God! Get back! Get back! What happened? Just stop! What happened to my brothers?
When they finally did recognize those 2 people came in were part of the scenario, they did good. They got them outside, they separated them, and they started interview. They did very good.
لما جو ذول الاثنين اللي عزلهم على حدة ما خلوهم سوية، هذا فشيء جيد كان.
Police training was increased from 2 weeks to 10, and Iraqis were learning how to teach the classes. By August 2007, over 164,000 police had been trained, but because of corruption and violence, only about half the force was actually working. Lieutenant General Dubik took over command of the advising and training of Iraqi Army and police that summer. He credits Minister of the Interior Jawad al-Balani with turning around the police force.
Following the counteroffensive in the hold and build phases, the Minister of Interior, with a lot of help from the coalition forces, took each community, one after the other, re-vetted the police, took all their names, who's really a policeman, who's really not, those who are really policemen, which ones have been performing, which ones haven't, vetted everybody, recruited to some national standards, but then set in place at each province a way to keep training. So he set in motion a set of processes and institutions and policies that over time, if followed, will slowly increase the professionalism of the police, which is what you see today.
بس انا حبيت انه اوجه شبابنا الضابط التفتيش المفتش باعتباره انه قلت له ياخذ المرتكز مال مسرح الجريمه المنتصف ويجمع الادله ونبدا نصورها بعدين نبدا نغلفها ونحطها بالاكياس.
That's perfectly correct. You know, there's different ways to do it. If that's the way you do it, you just do it that way every time. That's perfectly good.
There are now over 300,000 Iraqi police, a 5-fold increase since the war began. There are 18 training centers where all the classes are taught by Iraqis. Americans are still teaching the critically important classes on forensics, counter-explosives, and criminal investigations, which is the class I'm at today.
We done?
We're done.
اخوان شباب.
Good job, gentlemen. Wake up there, mister. Wake up. Get out of here. You're done. All right. Okay, as I told you earlier today, there were 2 fail points. If you didn't hit them, you were going to fail. And the first one was when we talked through the scenario. If you did not pull out of the crime scene after the initial entry, you failed. When you explained initial entry to crime scene to me, it was very good. It was very detailed. Exactly what I wanted to hear. The second fail point was attention to detail as far as the evidence. There was one piece of evidence. If you did not collect, you would have failed. And this is it. Okay, now why was this piece of paper so important? Does anybody know? Did anybody look at it?
أي أحد عرف ليش هذه الورقة بغاية الأهمية؟ شفتوها؟ هو شفتوها؟ أنتوا قرأتوها؟ قرأتوها؟ They didn't read it, but they collected. I mean, but supposed to read it.
But when he goes back to the station, when they look at the evidence, go ahead and open it.
لما تروح المركز الشرطة وتفتحها اقرأها شوف ايش راح تلقى بيها.
That's right.
This is a list of names. They could be murder. They could be the next step to the terrorism.
Right.
Or to
we don't know right now. Exactly. We don't know right now. Further investigation down the road when you find out who all these people are. Are they any of the dead ones? What's our number one job as police officers?
شنو الشغلة أو المهمة الأولى لضابط الشرطة؟
هو اعتقال المجرم وإيداع التوقيت.
Put the criminals behind the bar.
That's right. That's our number one job. When we put the criminals behind the bars, it's how we protect society. It's how we enforce the rule of law. We put the criminals in jail. And what did I say about people? When somebody opens their mouth, what they're doing, they're lying. So what's the only thing that does not lie?
شنو الشيء الوحيد اللي ما ممكن أن يكذب؟ The evidence.
The evidence. The evidence is what will put them in jail.
عفوا الأدلة هي ممكن اللي تخلي المجرم بالسجن.
And what's our strongest weapon that we use to do this?
شنو أقوى سلاح ممكن نستعمل؟